Chapter 29. Elves. With Mo Yika's promise, the cultivators in the entire street were suddenly quiet. In order to be able to invite Guhai, he would go so far as to downgrade all of Young Master and status. There was also too much importance placed on Guhai, wasn't there? Not far above the small attic, Sima Changkong's face changed. Mo Yike, you're really the one who can say it. A trace of anxiety flashed in Sima Changkong's eyes. My lord, that Mo Yike, could it be that he's just trying to salvage King Liu Yang's reputation by intentionally belittling Young Master and elevating the ancient sea? After all the surrounding cultivators are on Guhai's side. A subordinate at the side said. No, Mo Yike, isn't that bad? He has such vigor. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I still underestimated this Mo Yike. He's really a character. Sima Changkong's face sank as he said. My lord, it can't be. Is that Guhai really that powerful? Is it worth it? This time, if not, I would have found a way to recruit him. You don't understand. There are some people. They are just gold in a mound of dirt. You can see its dazzling brilliance at a glance. Sima Changkong frowned. In the distance, Young Master showed a look of horror. But at this moment, Young Master didn't dare to make a reckless noise. Who was Mo Yika? Young Master knew better than anyone. The #1 strategist under Grandpa. Grandpa trusted him more than his own sons and daughters. If Mo Yike were to speak to Grandpa, he wouldn't even have to think about it. He would definitely say yes. If you were to trouble Mo Yike, you wouldn't be able to do so. Don't be ridiculous. If he dares to look for trouble with him, without Mo Yike going to talk to Grandpa, Grandpa will surely take away his entire status immediately. This is also the reason why just now Mo Yike slapped himself, and he didn't dare to hit back. At this moment, looking at Guhai not far away, his heart was expecting Guhai not to agree. Mo Yike looked at Guhai with extreme sincerity. Guhai, however, had a slight burst of bitter laughter and said, Mo is too polite. I am the water helmsman of the first-class hall, and I am considered a fellow colleague, aren't I? As for entering the prince's residence, I am just a countryside village boy. I still have some self-knowledge of my name. Being the water helmsman is already my limit. Guhai refused, but Mo Yike was not annoyed at all. He smiled slightly and said, Mr. Gu, I know my words just now were abrupt, but the door of the prince's house will always be open to you, and in the future, you will know the sincerity of the prince's house. Guhai smiled faintly and didn't say anything more. All right, I'll take my leave as well. I wish Mr. Gu's shop a prosperous business, Mo Yike said with a faint smile. Thank you for your kind words, Mr. Mo. Guhai nodded. City Lord he. Since Young Master has exported these properties in the name of the king, let's hurry up with the transfer. And let's end today's matter here. Mr. Mo looked towards City Lord he. Good. City Lord he nodded. With Mr. Mo presiding, the transfer of a bunch of properties was instantly quick and incomparable. Young Master's face changed wildly. Was everything a foregone conclusion? He had lost so many properties this time. Grandpa didn't know how he would chastise him. After the transfer, City Lord he withdrew his troops, and at this moment, the surrounding cultivators were no longer noisy. A picture of all being happy. Ding! Steeply, the sound of an ancient zither came from the sky above Silver Moon City. The crowd that was originally ready to disperse stopped with a frown and looked at the sky suspicious. Owsley. Ding ding ding. Another 3 consecutive zither sounds rang out, penetrating the entire city, and the clouds above Silver Moon City all suddenly turned colorful in general. This is Old Mana Master playing the zither. That's right, sound out of the clouds. I remember last time too. Old Mana Master. What is this for? Countless cultivators revealed a puzzled look. Buzz. Steeply, hundreds of beams of light shot straight down from the colorful clouds and flew in all directions of the city. 7 of which were headed straight for the vicinity of the street where Guhai was. There were 2 that shot into 2 small attics, not far away. It was precisely the residence of Sima Changkong and Fairy Wana. 3 channels shot towards City Lord Hishikong, Young Mastan, and Fang Mingho respectively. There were 2 more, but they flew towards Mu Chunfeng and Guhai. Buzz! It was a greenish-colored light that suddenly appeared in front of Guhai. Guhai stared wide-eyed at what was in the green light in front of him. But it was a little girl that was 1 finger high. Only 1 finger high. Above the little girl's back, there was a pair of transparent wings. In the midst of rapid flapping, the fluttering of the wings flapping seemed to form a beautiful music. This is, Guhai's eyes widened. A thumb girl, and transparent wings. This is an elf, the musical genie condensed by the old Zhuang master's zither. Long Wanqing explained. The countless cultivators around were also wide-eyed in surprise. Genie, Guhai said doubtfully. Among the literary cultivators, why is the Tao of the zither ranked first? Because the Tao of the zither can create souls and create souls with the sound of the zither. However, non-normal people can reach it. The Fairy Wana who fought against you before, she didn't reach that level either, right? Create souls. Old Master Zhuang actually created a soul with the sound of the zither. This is a kind of attribute-less soul, an ethereal soul. Everything is at the mercy of the zither player's manipulation. They can also be called soul essence. That's why they're called elves, Long Wanqing explained. Essence of soul, elf. Guhai stared wide-eyed at the thumb girl in front of him. This was created by the zither. The Tao of the zither. This was the way of the zither. In the Thousand Islands Sea, Guhai already knew the power of the Tao of chess. The power of chess could set up formations and create worlds. While the Tao of the zither, although he didn't know much about it, but the scene in front of him was deeply shocking to Guhai. Soul creation. People have 3 souls and 7 spirits. If Qin Dao could create souls, wouldn't it be possible to seize the creation of heaven and earth to the point of creating new beings? Create a new race. Is this the way of the Qin? The little elf in front of me looked at Guhai and said, Qualification post owner. I am the lord of the Silver Moon Villa. Your whereabouts are unclear. I can only use this elf to talk to you. After 10 days. Please go to the Silver Moon Sea on time. The King Granting Conference will be held there after 10 days. So all of you should make early preparations. Guhai revealed a look of bewilderment. Lo. The elf flapped its wings and instantly rushed towards the colored clouds in the sky, rushing into them in an instant. Shoo. Hundreds of elves rushed up to the colored clouds together. Ding ding ding. Amidst several zither sounds, the colored clouds slowly dispersed. Everything seemed as if it hadn't happened, leaving behind countless shocked and inexplicable cultivators alone to look at the elf that had flown away. An elf, soul essence, created by the old master of the manor with the sound of the zither. Guhai was still deeply shocked. Not far away, in a small attic, Fairy Wana's eyes flashed with a hint of displeasure. HMPH, essence of soul. Elf, what's so great about it? I'm about to break through the bottleneck as well, and I'll be able to create soon as well. Humph. Obviously, not long ago, she wanted to fight with the old manor master over the Qin, but the result was unsuccessful. Now that the elf has come out, the victory has been divided, and all that is left in Fairy Wana's heart is sourness. Genie, I see the genie. Finally, a cultivator shouted excitedly. Old Master Zhuang's zither Tao. It turned out to be so powerful. Genie it really is a genie. My eyes aren't blurred, right? Countless cultivators were in the midst of excitement. Mo Yaika, however, steeply raised his eyebrows. Silver Moon Sea. Mr. Mo, will the Silver Moon Sea? Young Master and carefully came forward. Go. Mr. Mo said in a deep voice. Yes, the surrounding crowd responded, including City Lord He. They also quickly followed and left. Long Wanqing at the backs of the departing crowd, and a light smile appeared at the corner of her mouth as she said, "Gu Hai, you've struck it rich this time. You've earned so many industries." Gu Hai smiled faintly and said, "Actually, these industries are nothing. As long as the people are still there and there is startup capital, it is still possible to re-emerge right away. That Mr. Mo can see a lot more thoroughly than Du can." Long Wanqing froze slightly and shook her head. "But even so, it will take a long time if they want to regain as good as new. It is going to take a while, but don't you see, as soon as Mr. Mo came, everyone around Luoyang King Industry stopped rejecting it. He's a formidable character," Gu Hai solemnly said. "You mean, he was all for show just now?" "Not all of it, but there is a part of it in there." Gu Hai shook his head. "You're not really going to go, are you?" Long Wanqing bit her lips, a trace of worry flashing in her eyes. "It won't be, don't worry. Staying at the Hall of One Piece is much more comfortable than the Luoyang Royal Mansion," Gu Hai said with a smile. "That's good," Long Wanqing smiled. The City Lord Mansion's army left, and there were still many cultivators surrounding the streets. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your previous support. Today, the number 1 piano building on this street, 10% discount on the whole place." Gu Hai laughed. "Ha ha ha, 90% off, must buy one." Mr. Gu's atmosphere. The surrounding cultivators were also incomparably happy, and many of them flooded into the first kin building on this street. Gu Hai and his party also slowly left the sight of the crowd. Returning to a house, Mu Chunfeng frowned and said, "City Lord, he used to treat the old hall master. Courting him, to think that he actually helped young Master An to deal with us. It's really a case of people leaving and he calling." Long Wanqing nodded. It was obvious that he actually did not react at all when he called out to Uncle He Shikong in the beginning. "No, there's something odd about this He Shikong's behavior." Gu Hai shook his head and said, "Oh, although he stood on young Master An's side earlier, he didn't have that implication of flattering young Master An, as if he had a feeling of helplessness." Gu Hai frowned. "Oh," Long Wanqing was puzzled. "Let's go visit City Lord He," Gu Hai solemnly said. "Good," Long Wanqing nodded. At the end of the street, City Lord He went back with his army. Mo Yaika walked in front, while young Master An and the others followed behind. "Luan, I know that you have a cynical hatred in your heart. But remember this, you shall not look for trouble with Gu Hai. The king is thirsty for talent at the moment. He's in desperate need of talent. It's not easy for one to appear. If you look for him to take revenge, don't blame me for not giving you face." Mo Yaika looked at young Master An with cold eyes. Young Master An's face stiffened and said, "Yes, Mr. Mo, the old manor master actually chose the Silver Moon Sea this time. Will he find out?" On the side, Zhong Chenyi said with a worried face. Mo Yaika's eyes narrowed slightly as he nodded and said, "Indeed, it is a trouble. However, the Silver Moon Sea was originally the Silver Moon Mountain Villa's sealed sea, and it is not difficult to guess to open a king-granting conference there. I just hope that it won't spoil the king's big event. Let's go. Let's go to Silver Moon Villa first. I hope we can dissuade the old manor master." "Yes,